Hey everyone, this is your OG, and this is another Godforge video. Today we will be highlighting our 5 most exciting gods, myths, or legends that we would like to see in the Tian faction from the Chinese mythology. As a faction that we do not know yet too many of their champs from, this should be easier because, than obviously some of the more filled out factions. Let us know if you think we missed a champ or if you'd like to see a specific figure in the game. But without further ado, let's optimize. All right, so we are going to start off our top 5 possible Tian or Chinese mythology heroes with Sun Wukong, okay? Now, this is kind of what we're putting these first 2, these are givens. We just assume that they're going to be in the game, but we're starting off with them to kind of get them out of the way so that folks aren't like, well, why didn't you put this one in? We almost assume it's going to be in the game. So this is our first 2 are givens. Sun Wukong, this is the Monkey King, a trickster god famous for his mischievousness and incredible strength. Apparently he lifted the 17,550-pound Jingu Bang with ease, so that shows he's extremely strong. He was born from a magical stone, a phoenix egg, I guess, so it sounds like he was summoned. This was atop the mountain of flowers and fruit. After birth, his eyes shot light to the Jade Emperor's celestial palace. These are his fiery golden eyes that see through illusions, disguises, and sees evil auras. So that could play into the game. He learned the 72 earthly transformations from a sage that allows him to become anything, although his tail gives him away sometimes. He was also taught the cloud somersault, which allows him to traverse great distances quickly. Kind of think like leap tall buildings in a single bound sort of thing. So he has been known to produce hair clones. Plucking a single hair allows him to clone himself. That could be an interesting element brought into the game. Finding normal weapons boring, Sun Wukong went to the underworld to take the As You Will gold-banded staff, is the translation name of it, which can change his size from giant to insect. He also broke into the underworld and erased his name from the registers of life and death, ensuring himself having immortality. The Jade Emperor tried to placate him with a menial and kind of minor post. He rebelled in fury and called himself the great sage equal to heaven. He even defeats Erlen Shang in the war with heaven. Only Buddha's intervention subdued him. He looks to be a legendary hero who we would expect to see in Godforge at some point. So that is Sun Wukong. And then the other given we have here is Yu Hang. This is the supreme ruler of heaven, or Tian. He's the Jade Emperor, supreme deity in Chinese mythos who secured victory over chaos. So I'm sure we'll see him either as a legendary or a boss or something at some point in this game. Okay, so those are our 2 givens. Now we will move forward to our first of our 5. So this one, Wangmu, apparently maybe she has been mentioned already as being part of the game, but I think she's really cool, and I wanted to include her anyways, and I haven't actually seen her yet, so we'll see. I'm pretty sure she probably is going to be in the game, but this is the Queen Mother of the West, married to Yu Hang, the individual we just showed you, who is the supreme ruler of heaven. So kind of hard to leave out. She is a goddess associated with tigers, immortality, and then the peaches that provide that immortality. Those peaches provided every 3,000 years when they ripen. That resides in the sacred Kunlun Mountains where she is from. She controlled celestial disasters, epidemics, and the afterlife, so she sounds like a very powerful champion, probably a legendary. She carries a staff and has a headdress, and her whistling has was a shamanic practice to summon winds or communicate with spirits, so that could definitely make for some cool animations and some cool kits. or pieces to her kit. She evolved from a tiger-toothed demon to a regal goddess, balancing civility with the feral and more primal power from which she came. She's friendly with the moon rabbit, so if you remember anything from some of the Omayakan faction folks, there's a connection there. She's also associated with the nine-tailed fox and the three-legged crow. Pretty interesting character, so that is our number 1 today. Then we're going to get to our number 2. This is Erlen Shang, which we just mentioned. He was defeated by some Wukong, but Erlen Shang, also known as Yang Jian, is the god of war. He's Hu Huang's, the supreme ruler of heaven's nephew. He's a very powerful warrior with an all-seeing third eye. He's known for battling demons and monsters. He has a celestial dog. I love puppies, so he has a celestial dog that helps him subdue demons by biting them or unleashing sonic howls. So that could be a cool addition. Famous for creating an irrigation system that slayed the flood-causing dragon and saved local communities, he goes from engineer to demigod and finally to full warrior god. He carries a 3-pointed double-edged spear capable of cleaving mountains and piercing steel. He can summon divine lightning to punish evil. He actually fights Sun Wukong in a 300-round duel, and like I said, he didn't beat him, or it's claimed that Sun Wukong won, but he apparently later they become allies anyways. So I think he could easily be an epic or a legendary, depending on how his kit is built out, but that is Erlen Shang, our next one. Okay, so then we get to our first boss pass. Okay, this is a boss possibility that we're going to offer you. And in fact, what we're doing is we're going to offer you 2 different boss ideas and let you see what you think. Okay, so the very first boss pass or boss idea is Kaishen. This is the Chinese god of wealth and money, very popular during the Chinese New Year celebrations, and is shown as a robust figure in red robes, which symbolizes luck, and often riding either a black tiger or a gold tiger. Here we went with the gold tiger. He wields a golden staff and an iron tool that transforms stone or iron into gold, so he has like the power of alchemy. This could be cool. He could drop some really juicy or rich rewards as a boss, and he looks very tanky and heavy. So this is our first boss pass idea that we're throwing out. The second is this one, okay? Teyote. Teyote is an ancient monster considered one of the 4 perils. Depicted as a mask-like creature with protruding eyes, horns, and fangs, a sheep's body, a human face, tiger teeth, also specifically no lower jaw. Some other things we found: eyes under its armpits, and it has a baby's cry. So that just sounds absolutely terrifying, all put together, but known for its insatiable hunger, and it represents gluttony. So that's why there's no lower jaw. It's like, and here we just depicted it as like the jaw's falling off. But basically it has this never-ending hunger. So this is our second boss pass thrown out here. Boss possibility is Teyote. Now, what's really interesting is he's known so much for his insatiable hunger that he actually eats his entire body and is just a head. He can't. It also represents like cannibalism. He eats himself. Until he's just a head. So maybe he transforms from like the full, figure down only to a head if you do certain things. So he gave you kind of a look at both of those. But that's Teyote, our second boss pass. Or which of these do you like better? Do you either of them jump out as a better boss possibility? Let us know in the comments below. Next up is number 3. We have Hua Mulan. Now, she doesn't get Hua added to her name till later on. She was only Mulan in the beginning. Those of us who have watched Disney know this. But she is a legendary heroine who disguised herself as a man to take her elderly father's place in the army. A figure that is neither like a goddess or a historical general. Yet her narrative resonates with the theme of strength and this paradox of strength where she's trying to serve her tradition and uphold her tradition while also shattering its constraints just by being herself. In the Ballad of Mulan, we learn that she fought for 12 years without anybody noticing her gender. The Hua was a name meaning flower that was added later. Earlier texts simply call her Mulan, which means magnolia. Her tale highlighted the fubing system of military conscription, where they went around and every family was required to provide someone of military age unless there was no one or there were sicknesses or disabilities. So she could definitely be a rare character. Now, in addition, obviously Disney definitely took some liberties with Mulan and their portrayal. In the Ballad of Mulan, there is no love interest between her and her captain or whatever. And Mushu is added too. Mushu is not a part of the actual ballad. Disney added Mushu, but I think honestly that Mushu would be a great add to Godforge, right? He should probably be in the game, but not just that. I think we should have Eddie Murphy do the voice for the character as well. These are just small asks from the community. But I think, Fateless could probably make this happen. Maybe even for Alpha. Nah, I kid. I'm just joking. All right, next up. So the next one we see here, number 4 here, is Nezh. Nezh is a child deity and typically is shown as a younger or young-looking deity and warrior known for youthful appearance and incredible combat skills, depicted fighting demons and dragons. Nezh was born during the Shang dynasty as a reincarnation of the Spirit Pearl, destined to assist King Wu. His birth is unique, okay, actually very unique. After a 3.5-year gestation, he emerged as a flesh ball that split open when Jing struck it with a sword, revealing a fully formed boy who could walk and speak immediately. At age 7, he killed the dragon prince Ao Bing and the sea yaksha Li Zhen, causing earthquakes that disrupted the Dragon King's palace. In retaliation, the 4 Dragon Kings threatened to flood Shentang Pass. To save his family and community, Nezh commits suicide, but is restored by his mentor, who crafts a new body for him from lotus roots and grants him with divine weapons. The wind fire wheels you see here for flight are awesome. That if that would be included in the game, that would look really cool. He has a fire-tipped spear as his primary weapon, and he wears a universe ring for protection. Also, in Buddhist traditions, he appears with 6 arms, symbolizing his power to subdue demons. He is a protector deity who battles evil spirits. Maybe a defender archetype, maybe an invoker, maybe a epic, maybe a Lego, depending on how he's built out. But we think this could be a very cool character for the game. That is Nezh. All right, last but not... Oh, no. So these are our honorable mentions, okay? Before we get to our 5th one, these are a few honorable mentions because we don't know a lot of Tian heroes just yet, so there was a lot still available. Okay, so this is Huli Jing, a 9-tailed fox with magical abilities to transform into human forms. She's good at manipulation and deception. Maybe she could put confuse on. She drains life essence via breath stealing, so that's cool. She is a companion of Wangmu, who we saw at number 1. So she could play a role or a synergy with them. She casts illusions, curses, blessings, and heals. So she could be an invoker. She's afraid of dogs because she's a fox by at her truest form, and dogs force her to flip back to her fox form, force her out of her transformed form. So that's interesting. Also, cutting off the tails severs their power. She could possibly be a rare or an epic hero, but an honorable mention is Huli Jing. Next up, we have Beidou Shang Dadi. If I said that correct, he is the divine physician, the god of medicine, revered for his healing powers. So he definitely sounds like an invoker and possibly a legendary. So that is a next honorable mention. And then we've got Mazu. Mazu is a sea goddess. She is invoked for protection and guidance at sea. Could be a defender or an invoker as well. Maybe an epic or Lego. Looks pretty strong, but that is Mazu, another honorable mention. And then the last honorable mention is Shaong. He is the divine farmer. He taught people Chinese agriculture, discovered herbal medicine, and invented farming tools. He was born with a bull's head, I feel bad for his mother. And a human body, symbolizing, I didn't try to depict that here, but symbolizing the strength, his strength and Agarian wisdom. Okay, he's a pretty impressive individual. He spoke within his first 3 days. He walked within his first week, and he plowed fields by the age of 3. I think Dwight Schrute would be proud of him. His body was also apparently transparent, allowing him to conduct medicinal experiments with herbs he ingested. Like, he could actually see how the herbs affected his organs and what did what. And he is sort of credited with learning about herbal medicine. And lastly, he taught humans fire-based land clearing techniques. Could be a legendary. This is our last honorable mention of the group, is Shaong. And then last but not least, we are going to finish up with our 5th possible hero, Jiutan Zuanu, maybe, hopefully. This is the goddess of war. She's also known for longevity and endurance, as well as martial arts. Renowned as a divine strategist who aided the Yellow Emperor in defeating the rebel Qi Yu, she descended on a phoenix during a battle obscured by mist, giving the Emperor mystical artifacts, okay? This allowed him to control demons and spirits. She is like magic and intellect over brute strength. Sounds like maybe a disruptor hero. But she's also associated with longevity and immortality, as she governs breath circulation along the body's central axis, nourishing the spirit. Sounds like a buff opportunity. Zuanu the name implies mysterious or dark, referencing hidden cosmic forces. She's often depicted in a 9-colored feather robe with a snow-white body riding a phoenix and holding celestial objects such as swords or seals. She and her acolytes, the 6 Ding Jade Maidens, enable invisibility by concealing body, soul, and destiny. Sounds like a Lego. All right, folks, that is all for us on this one. Thank you for sticking with us till the end. Drop in the comments below if you think we left one out that you like, or if you liked any of the possible heroes we featured. Take care of yourself, and remember, play smarter.